Media Choice Television, its associate and affiliates may not be liable for views expressed on the show. Viewer discretion is advised.
Tubaniriza nnyo mwebali nnyo kutuwagira mutabani wa Mole n'amatovu mirundi Joseph Tamale mirundi senior nateera azze okubaako ensonga mzee gyebali ssebo
kale
bitambula bitya
tambula bulungi
ssebo
TV wajifuula TV kati
of course
sina buzibu sina buzibu ejjako mutabani wa Nadduli yali alina okufuna discipline
mazima
bwe muli ba editor editor kitegeeza tu edit kusunsula
yes
waliwo ebitwogerwa ku mawulire waliwo kye tuyita gutter press ne mainstream
ate mwabaludde mu media fa bakayingira bootatugamba tetumanya kikikola
naye tuyinza kuteekawo omuntu nga akaaba akolima akola ki that ceases to be information.
Yes,
information, these are facts.
Yes,
that's why people cannot take him to court. Tewali yali afunye courage to take him to court. Kyobala tulina amateeka ga libel and defamation.
Yes,
libel kyekyogerwa ku radio, defamation kyekiwandiike where the media originated. Todda ku radio noga tujja kuvuma. No, a license gwe kasa gwe genda ovume gwe teekawo radio yo nga yakuwemula teekawo channel yo nga yakuwemula teba na rules
mazima
naye bw'oteekawo TV must have rules.
Ate muzeeyi kye bayita offensive communication
yanti
nga kye batera okutugamba wanyiiziza Museveni yanyiize
nkugambye ebyo byonna bayiyabiyeeye offensive communication tekiriiyo.
Yes,
you annoy somebody. People are annoyed. Leaders must be accountable to the people.
Yes, you
have to be annoyed. If you don't want to be annoyed, don't become a leader.
Yes,
a leader must be put under scrutiny.
Yes.
Are you married? What's your academic background? Do you see this? This was the essence of vetting. But in Uganda, vetting was killed. Somebody hired a judge in Uganda to say that the vetting is only restricted to academic papers. Is the parliamentary appointment committee, UNEB,
no,
the civils found their way out through a judge.
But what was the real essence in vetting someone?
And we wanted to kill people. From constitution of between moral turpitude. When you are convicted on moral turpitude, we tofuga gwanga. Kakati the issue of vetting is not academic. Academic is a part, but morals. Can we, because you are going to travel with the female ministers, are we safe with you? Are you reliable? Kyobala nabagamba nti mwete mwategeera lwaki ono omusajja yali akwanye bad black yamusibanga mu kkomera n'amugulira emmotoka. There are two issues. In Europe, if you engage a prostitute, they are not talking about your engagement with a prostitute, but they are saying prostitutes are non-reliable people. They can be spies. So if you can engage a prostitute, our security is safe
with you.
With you,
sincerely.
Yes,
because of their way of life, you cannot trust them.
Omwana mulungira wenziki bamukuleetedde mu ofiisi yo ayera akunamira nti gwe Clinton nga president w'eggwanga, can you stomach this? Era kyobulaba nti Clinton ono gundi ono omukyala Clinton ye yategeera it was a double-edged sword. Baali baagala okulemesa Clinton okuwagira vice we aligo because Clinton had support. At the same time, they wanted to check ono omukyala mukazi we nti as commander-in-chief of the powerful United States, what will you respond as a woman if somebody snatches your husband? Oyo omukazi n'akiyitako bulungi nnyo.
Okube bantu masasi.
Omukazi yagamba nti ebyo Clinton byakola si byewuunya yakulira mu maka agali violent kitaawe nyina yanoba nakulya Jefferson nakula n'omusajja at 18 Clinton yali agala okukuba kitaawe yali awasiriza nyina kumubonyabwe omukazi yakiyitako
mazima
yaga nti Clinton okusinjira mu maka mwe yakulira mwatunda omwenge omuntu eyakulira ku maama we ng'atunda walagi bw'anywa amalwa muleke
ebyo mbisuubira.
Yes. The woman did not divorce. Why? The woman had handlers. Bamubuulira nti they are not. Clinton yatuuka n'okudduka okuva mu America najja mu Africa ne mu Uganda najja mu Ejisingira to run away. But that was a strategy. Ne Trump kye bamukubidde. Ne Trump bamukuba ti mu mid term aleme kuwagira ba Republicans yavaako bakyamwagala. Yes,
that's why you are mu house.
Era waliwo omusajja wa sai yali agenda kufuuka nga ba Republican gwe baleeta nga Trump tajja. Yali commander mu Afghanistan. Clinton n'amuyita manya gundi Obama n'amubuuza. Obama was interested in withdraw. This man yamuwa eddakiika 10 okwogera naye. The man came out shouting naga nti those who believe that Obama is intelligent, Obama, how can he give me only 10 minutes the command of NATO forces in Afghanistan? Naye nga bamutegedde nti ba Republican bamuyina. What happened? Bagamba nti yakwanye omukazi gwakola naye nga FBI yemubuulirizaako. What about Khan? This high flying French man yali akulya IMF bamuteekako nti yakutte omukazi
kituufu
eventually nga baagala sankozi yabayitamu ono ozi euro tubayita batya euro what nti the man believed in Europe the strengthening of the euro Abamerika nga tebamwagala era bakwata omukazi lagade a French ne bamuwa obwaki. The French should be satisfied. This was a preserve of America. Kati nabo babikola
mazima
abazungu nabo babikola ki
babikola naye kye kyata vetting ya wano
ati kakati
kyekyo
bo bano tebabimanyi nedda. Why should Museveni appoint a man like a Sebagala ow'ebikyupuli
nasantegi
kubanga Museveni tayinza gamba nti nze namutaddeyo bamugobe. No. Before there must be a vetting committee. Even if fools, these people are not educated, can welcome Sebagala opportunistically abayambe. But Museveni wouldn't have appointed Sebagala as the minister to be rejected by parliament. No, what if they didn't reject him?
But I think he was strengthening the vetting.
The vetting system. Don't tojajinga muntu kusinzira kubatasoma n'amateeka gakugamba you were defamed before well-thinking members of society. This bill they are proposing atwafiiriddwa muganda waffe yafudde Kasimu Sesimba yakolanga mu Bank of Uganda Reserve Bank of Uganda nebuuzizza Bank of Uganda yasasudde bill naye aba State House baali gisasudde ku nze ate eddaame lyange ligana sente zivudde mu ofiisi ya Nalwezo muhoozi yekka yasobola okuleeta sente ewaffe ne Museveni tazireeta zibalirise wa Nalwezo tezibaayo anti Nalwezo ng'akyali mu State House tewali mabugo gasobola kuli nemmange ne bwafa tebagaleetayo Museveni taweereza mabugo okujjako nga zirise wa muhoozi eddaame lyange lizigaanira ddala sente zivudde wa Nalwezo teziyinza kuyita waffe tebayinza kuzireeta waffe yadde obukyere bwabwe tebayinza kubuleetayo. Kakati nkugamba twafiiriddwa gundi ani muganda waffe yafudde era Nsereko oyo MP maama we mwanyinaffe oyo gwe yali addako mwanyinaffe yasooka okufa kyala Nsereko mukoddomi waffe Nsereko ati nono yafudde mutumo wange tubadde twenkana kuba banyaffe bafumbirwa abasajja babbeeyi nga bagezi fenna tuli across the board buli nyaffe gye yafumbirwa yenna abaana bagezi abana baganda ujja kulanga mu Bank of Uganda kati abadde
yekolera ko bamunyigira okuleeta biru
anti kakati biru togiraba naye nzija kumuyirawo omubiri kakati bo bamulowozesa baleeta biru nti biru eyo egenda kusiba ffe ku social media nti a voice naye nze nkuba obutambi buno nakati ngenda kuwaako kamu who has ever come out to identify with these voices kubanga okuvaayo you implicate yourself. It would be intrusion on somebody's privacy. But because of the matter of discussion tebayinza kuvaayo.
The matter that is discussed.
Yes. Bakugamba nti abasajja ba ICC bamaze they gave them $50 million. The panel was changed. They are now demanding $30 million because they are implicated in the organic case, killing people. I spearheaded this bill in Parliament. It was me who said you are killing people, and I'm telling you, Museveni must overhaul the Minister of Health. The Permanent Secretary Diana must go. This woman whose head is shaped like a mango, a small orange called omutwe gukalinga gundi gukalinga ki mangada kwita gintu ni mukakuba 63 of your surgeons indicted kakati nkugamba nti the president cannot appoint in normal circumstances. The framers of the constitution wanted clean people. When you look at our constitution, the constitution reformed the presidency. Why did they change the presidency? Because now many of these people who formed the CA, the Constituent Assembly, did not do political science. These were laymen. Many people believe that the 1967 constitution in Uganda was draconian. No. The 1962 Constitution of Independence, the 1966 Constitution, and the 1967 Constitution, and Museveni's 1995 Constitution, they all have one thing in common, the Bills of Rights. A Ugandan will not be detained beyond these hours. But because a constitution is a piece of paper, a constitution is a will, a constitution is a marriage ring. Haven't we seen women or men who elope with other men when the marriage rings are tightly on their fingers?
Of course we have.
Have you ever seen the Ugandan? We have a constitutional square near CPS. Have you ever seen the constitution going to CPS?
But the laws don't work because
there and the constitution.
Those in power don't respect them. They do
the constitution. However much, it does not matter how long you write a constitution. It does not matter whether
how sweet
it is written in golden letters. It does not matter whether you have a constitutional day. It does not matter whether it was endorsed by the framers of the constitution. It does not matter even if you have a constitutional square.
I see.
What matters are two. One, does it contain the aspirations of the people? Do you have stronger institutions that can enforce constitutionalism?
I see.
Yes.
But who enforces that? I think it is the will
civil society
of the president
in politics. When you do politics,
not to interfere.
Governments cannot give concessions for free. Governments are pressurized. A government operates like me, who has many wives and many children. It depends on the pressure one woman pushes on me to solve a problem.
I see.
Because I have scarcity resources.
Yes.
Yes.
You can't be solving everything at your own will.
So it depends. When we are sharing scarcity resources, a government operates like a polygamous man who has many wives and with a large family.
But now
so it
there are
depends
things that
on
you
the
can't
pressure.
miss.
and the price list, what is appropriate today. If my children are going back to school, then no woman can talk about funeral rights at home.
Of course.
Nobody can talk about
maybe plating their hair.
Yes. I must say it. Kakati, practical terms, especially Uganda, we don't know the difference between a constitution and a constitutionalism. It's like having a good plan to construct a house. You think all of the buildings that are collapsing in Kampala don't have approved plans?
Of course, we hear they have.
Yes.
We hear that they were approved.
Yes.
But now the standards,
the contractors,
the engineers or the
engineers on the ground did not follow. And a plan, like a will, these are documents. A plan cannot tell an engineer that you man, you are constructing this building away from the plan.
I see.
Yes.
It is only the person in charge.
Yes, it needs somebody to enforce. This is the constitution.
But I hear Mzee, Ugandan presidents don't have the will. They do things as the way they want.
We are younger. We are still a younger nation. And you see,
50 years.
For you people, UK, Japan has a recorded history of over 4,000 years. The French, the British, the Portuguese, where are they? Portugal was bypassed by the industrial revolution. Spain, Vasco da Gama, these people were imperial powers. You see, we had the Byzantine Empire, the Roman Empire, the British Empire, and the American hegemony. Things have been changing. Kakati, you must know, as things changed, where were you at that time? Uganda, we are celebrating 60 years, 50 years. How has a man in Uganda, for me, I'm telling you, I was born, I have a quarrel with my mother. My mother says I was born in 1962. But I tell you, I had a quarrel with the priest over the name. The priest wanted to name me, to baptize me George. And there was a man on the village, George M.i.S.O, George the rat. I don't know how he got the name M.i.S.O. I grabbed the priest, floored him on the ground. I disappointed.
How can you have a conversation with your mother over your date of birth?
Let me tell you. I'm telling my mother.
She's the only one who can tell you, not you.
Older. Why? To have the courage to pull down, because I went with my name. When I arrived at the church, I asked the people, Abagatuma Baliwa, who are the baptizers? Because I went with my name. So, according to those early days of the 60s, the church picked a name according to the days saint. This is why they wanted to name me George William. But for me, on the village, there was a man, George M.i.S.O, George the rat. I don't know why they named it. How did this younger kid
grab a priest?
And
the dissection of what the name means.
So by the time, after flowering the priest, I still remember his name. He's called who? Majenjeke. And even the name of Majenjeke means something that is not strong. Majenjeke. The priest was called Majenjeke. I floored him on the ground by grabbing his castle. By the time, and I stormed out of the church.
But they are young kids who are strong. You cannot argue with your mother over your date of birth.
My mother came back. Me, I had already arrived. I had already arrived.
At home?
At home. But the priest had, after flooring him on the floor, he ran out of the church.
But Mzee, you're talking about Uganda being a young nation.
Yes, we are.
How about Kenya?
And Kenya,
look
at the struggle. There are many factors you people don't have. The Kenyans have been having a power rotating within rich families, the independence families who grabbed the property. That was normal. Power would rotate around that group. Yes. You see,
but the level of political maturity.
I'm explaining it to you. That a man like me who believes in African religion, African religion, for us we know, we notice that a girl who is sacrificed to the gods is not supposed to get married and to produce children. But once that girl gets pregnant and is married, then you have to go back to the drawing board.
Of course.
Yes. How you did not protect her. Because we call them abawonge, those who are sacrificed, oyo muwonge.
Those who
we even have a
who sacrifice their other life to serve the gods.
A leopard does not separate embuzi emponge. Embuzi that is preserved for the gods, a leopard pounce on them, can kill it and yes.
So you must protect
when a
the
leopard
gods.
kills that sacrificing god, it means something wrong has happened. You go back to the drawing board. So in Kenya, two things happened. Not today. The moment Moi penetrated this Ssaako of the wealthy people, the leopard had grabbed the traditional goat.
You go back to the drawing board.
Yes. What is happening in Kenya is not now. When Moi took over power against powerful people, the Charles Njonjos and Mbuiko Inange killed all suspected rival candidates. Who would, because you must know that Kenyatta took power at the advanced age of 75. By the time Kenyatta took power, he was an old man. Kenyatta at one time became senile. And he would used to say, I hear, minasikia, wantu wasema Kenyatta mgonjwa. Mgonjwa, uliza mama ngina. That if you think that I'm an old man, ask my wife. On public, mama ngina yuko wapi? He was senile. Because 63 was 75, and Africans hide their names. I've already explained it for me that I know I would have been born in 58, unless I'm a unique kid. But being unique, I have demonstrated it throughout my life. That when you trap me here, even my enemies concede. The man is highly intelligent. The man is highly intelligent. Mirundi is highly intelligent. Even my enemies concede, appreciate that I'm a different person in Uganda. Kakati tulaba muchi ti Moi Mbuiko Inange yatta Gama Pinto was killed. J.J. Kariuki was killed after confusing Jomo Kenyatta that J.J. Kariuki was plotting against him. Kariuki had a recording watch like a M.i.S.O, like the type of machines I have to record the sound. So Pinto was killed, J.J. Kariuki was killed, Gama Pinto was assassinated. Moi was humiliated as a vice president, the way they have humiliated Ruto. Africans don't learn. Moi was thoroughly humiliated as vice president until Mama Ngina came up. So when Moi, who was a primary teacher in Keri, that man was a primary teacher teaching primary school. He was plucked from education with his Volkswagen into politics by Mudavadi's father, Musalia Mudavadi, Moses Mudavadi, who picked this man because he was a good communicator like me. A Kalenjini, at one time, a man called Kisunguri grabbed his girlfriend, a Kikuyu. You're a cattle keeper. How can you power your sperms into a Kikuyu woman? So Moi was humiliated. When you read his book, The Making of an African Statesman. At one time, Kenyatta invited him in Rift Valley State House, and he did not see him. He saw everybody, non-entities, until he went to bed, and he would not be wakened up. That was a tradition because in the morning he found Moi seated on the chair. Why did you sleep here, Moi? You didn't call me. And this man is saying, I've been testing you. There is a provincial commissioner who used to slap Moi at one time, a policeman, a traffic policeman, chased Moi when Moi was still Minister of Vice President and Minister of Internal Affairs, in charge of the police. A policeman slapped him when he took over a flight to Tanzania, and Moi forgave him. Then Moi was searched after 75. He represented Kenyatta in Uganda. When he went back, he was searched that had taken arms from Amin to overthrow the government. So you see the harassment. That oyo okuvale yabayitamu. The Kalenjins came. They became a power broker. I'm explaining the changes.
Yes. And how they have graduated to what we are seeing now.
He was from Kaduna to Kano. Watch Mao. Watch Mao. Watch Mao. Ugandan is watching Mao. I'm telling you. Watch Mao. Power is given to you by God. Power, in many cases, is like a goal in the soccer. It comes out of confusion.
Yes.
A goal is created by confusion.
Yes. In
the team that considers a goal score. Omupira kumala kola ki?
Kwechanga, mumala kola kavuyo.
Nti family ya Museveni etabuse nekuba muhozi. Nemukuba. Kakati awo Katonda baba kolimira. Mufinye n'omukisa nti mu family yammwe. What is so fundamental? No, Museveni cannot anoint anybody. He can work for himself. Muhozi can work for himself. He tested and he tested, and the people who are maligning him are inside the palace. Kakati ukitegeera golo eva ku confusion. There are times when the confused defender or goalkeeper considers a goal.
Yes.
Kakati kasita Abakikuyu bakkiriza ne balwana bokka Abakikuyu Njonjo yalemesa Moi kubanga bali balina change the constitution group. The constitution should be changed to prevent Moi from taking over. Njonjo believed in Njonjo. He would oversmart. He would use Moi and grab power from him. Once Moi took over, he had the kind of structure. Yemao. Abavuma DP, abavuma Mao. Mao nga yakute power. Obalaba ne esati zakira galozira banampere. Nkubulira. Failure is an orphan. Success has many fathers. When you succeed, then that's when you know. Mirundi naliko naye. Mirundi naliko. Kakati sebuufu omugagga sebuufu tewali amwogerako.
Kituufu.
Naye nga sebuufu bamuvunaana kutta muntu ogwo. Kamiliyoni ya bakubadde be batano. Sibashi Diana. Owete bamuse. What's the difference between this woman that Sebufu is alleged to have killed? But Sebufu has no defenders. Chechukuru choka. Kazinda has no defenders.
I see.
How many people have stolen billions more than what Kazinda did? And Kazinda was a front runner for Mbabas. There was a confusion in the Prime Minister's office, and many people lost their jobs. They were targeting this man, Bigiriman. Naye Kazinda, uyo muvuka w'Emmengo Mayiga, tasobola kulwanira muganda munne. When you are analyzing Kenyan politics, understand that it started in the 60s. It started soon after independence. The British wanted to hand over power to Jaramogi Odinga. But Jaramogi Odinga feared the Kikuyus, and he said, no, I cannot take it unless you release. In politics, they tell us, we have a Lucifer theory. What Kenyatta, Jomo Kenyatta believed that by accommodating this man would always be reminding him, singa tewali gwe, singa salinze, tewali finyibwaki. Machiavelli tells you, those who have helped, if the prince is going to rule comfortably, he must eliminate those who helped him to take power. Museveni has not killed them assassinated them. But they are not key players in Uganda's politics. All of those who fought with Museveni, many of them have been here and there. You
have grabbed this and that.
For Tibaina. For us in Uganda. Yes, Tabasasudde baliwa. Bamweda baliyo mugondi. Lwabogo yaliyo. Tumwebaze yaliyo. The key players now. Bahati yaliyo. Muganizi yaliyo. The key players never went to the bush. Owamanyi takeera. No.
Abalenzi balina kati
bintu. Kakati chikutegeeza nti when you are analyzing Kenyan politics is a pregnancy. I always tell you that when I'm analyzing a pregnancy, I cannot tell you that I include the courtship. Mwamala banga chinga mwekwana. How long did it take you to identify? But the problem with you calculate what?
Even the courtship.
Yes. Even the courtship.
But where was Uganda when Kenya was getting to this level?
Yes.
We've been here with them.
Kenya, I'm analyzing Kenya. Two, Kenyans have not had a military coup. Attempts to overthrow the government was done by the former commander Ekamba, but Kenyatta checked him and appointed Mulingi because the army was, the Kambas were in charge of the army. The man who was supposed to become president, Chitiri Mwenda, the Chief Justice, would either be president or who would swear. This man was assassinated, Chitiri Mwenda. Kenyan politics is full of assassinations. Even Alexander Muge, the man who was spitting fire against Moi, was assassinated. Ouko was assassinated to send a strong warning. In Uganda, we don't assassinate prominent people only, but even the ordinary people.
Yes.
The Beni Chiwanuka, Luumu, and because this is intended to scare.
Yes.
You scare, I said, if you have an argument of whether Obote was worse than Amin, Amin will get score. Will get, yes.
People think Amin is
the
worst.
Ordinary people. Did Amin left scars like in Ilwero?
No.
Did Amin, when Amin killed you or targeted you, what Amin would do? Amin would arrest you. He was using a surgical operation. He killed Benny Chiwanuka, his waist was intact. He killed Francis Walugeme, the waist was intact. But in Obata too, the agents, the killers, would even grab your wife.
I see.
Your children, your property, become a muyekera. So if I'm analyzing Amin and Obata two, they are different. Amin and the Obata one, Amin scores. Why did the people power on the street to welcome Idi Amin? Was better than Obata. Because Obata had antagonized the whole of Uganda. The peasants do not understand the dynamics of politics, to know who was being this, who was the correct one. When Obata was overthrown in 1971, even Museveni admits in his book that he found the problems in recruiting people from Ankole. That whoever was fighting was opposed to Obata, they thought was fighting Amin. They thought was trying to bring Obata back. Obata was a hated man. He was helped by failures, by his people like Paul Mwanga. So therefore, that's one. Kenya has never been had never had Idi Amin. We had so many worse than Idi Amin, situation than Idi Amin. Two, the Kenyans have been having power rotating around, as I mentioned. Now, the single party state, the effectiveness of the single party state. The problem was that people like Moi never subjected like Nyerere themselves to a general election. No. They would go to Kasarani, announce that those who are interested in the presidency present your nominated papers. But when every route has been, soldiers have been deployed to ensure. There was a case in Kenya where documents were smuggled, but the man to declare Moi unopposed. So when Moi came for the first time, he's like a Sembabule. Sembabule Honorable Kutesa wanted to go through unopposed, but had failed. Why? The people wanted the money. They knew that if Kutesa went unopposed, those who were going to protect his job, the agents and what, they sponsored a candidate to the agenda. Yes, a stubborn boy. Kutesa, at that time we had strategy. Kutesa had rejected to stand with this stubborn boy. But what did they do? They connived with somebody and grabbed his academic papers. This is how Kutesa escaped. Because Kutesa could not subject himself to this embarrassment. The boy was very abusive. Ye from 7 knows you as a dear appointed minister. To the agenda was a very good, convincing, attacking, and he said at one time he wrote to the Electoral Commission, declare me unopposed. Why? My rival does not appear. How could Kutesa reduce himself on the same rally, on the same podium? Was
but on a political podium, so, you are equal.
To save himself from further embarrassment, Kutesa used to go through unopposed. The problem of going through unopposed, you don't test the waters.
Yes. You don't know which areas require your
you only deny, like Tumwebaze cannot win in his. Tumwebaze Kasaija cannot win in.
They went through unopposed.
Auntie,
Tumwebaze went unopposed.
Tumwebaze Demwakatogeba Beba Mutire wow. Tumwebaze Ranger Kuitam. Kasaija Kuja Konga, Aguzembuzizi. Kasaija Ranger Kuitam. Yes, and he understands the Goti language. How can you be a minister of finance and you find the problems in winning a constituency?
I see.
So, Agati Nkugamba, Techokusatu, Echiri Kenya, Echaze Kenya. The Kenya 2007, we betema. ICC moved in. They saw the power of ICC because I did international relations, the interaction of states and non-state actors. I did international relations at the university, Makerere University. I did international relations, the interaction of states and non-state actors in the international arena. And I specialized in UN activities, operations. UN was far away from the population. Now UN had at 60 wanted to be relevant to the population. How will the ordinary Ugandan know? This is why Red Cross that used to have to involve itself in disasters is now involved in
daily accidents
in environment to make it relevant. Without conflicts, how would the Red Cross be relevant? And in Uganda, because it was involved in social deals, the Ugandan Red Cross or International Committee of the Red Cross in Uganda has died. Even when you go to one day, it's finished. You don't see Red Cross at all. People like Sebunya destroyed it. Nobody Sebunya, nobody can go to Bena Duka, Bena, never Basent, Basabunya, never Duka. Kakati, Baba Deba, Bankovri Moon. ICC is one of the means, the methods under which an ordinary African can know. Then they created the cases against humanity. You cannot kill your own people. Because in a country, when you kill your son in the country, arrests you. That this man, the person, or is your kid, but belongs to the country. Uganda versus so and so for killing, for murder. But these people had insulated themselves. A president of Uganda or an African country can be there to win when he retires. And they made sure that they entrenched themselves in power.
I see.
When would you get him? And after death, so ICC, the involvement of ICC in Kenya changed the trend. Uhuru and Raila were humiliated to the bone marrow when they appeared in the head before foreigners. And before Raila, Ruto and Uhuru traversed the country pleading for prayers. They used to call them prayer rallies, appealing to God. Who was behind them? Who was after them? Was Raila. And that's why the people in mountain Kenya, 40% did not vote. Raila did, Uhuru didn't know. Building bridges. These days, you win an election by a slogan. Because our people is organizing. Our people are illiterate. Most of these photos are misleading. When you say photo of a woman, that is when it either belongs to her daughter or when she was young. Most of these women, when you look at them, umanyi waliwo bana abasajja abatunda embuzi wano webayita mu mbuzi kakati mu traditional oyinza okufuna nti njagala embuzi ey'ebitanga bagipaintinga bakuga nti linda omwana akomewo. The difference between the photo of a woman and herself is different.
Yes.
When you look at these musicians in computerized photos, they are different. Omugobe ekiro okwana obwo obuyimbi n'okatwala mu ruumu ekiro bugenda okera ku macyango oga nti kalala. They don't appear themselves. These are computer manipulated. We have photos that are
photoshopped.
Yes. Kakati Kenyans kasabala baku Uhuru ne Ruto batutte Hague naye nga ni abatwalayo. Kakati Ruto, Uhuru did not know the attitude of peasants. Uhuru is the same Ogerere. Wanted to build the bridges. Bridges are built for a long time.
Of course.
Museveni started building bridges in the 70s. Museveni has worked in all governments.
But he seems not to learn from friends like Kenya.
And Kugambye, Museveni started building bridges. Yaleta aba DP. Museveni had established a base in Acholi. Museveni established a base in Acholi. He explains in his book that they were let down by somebody who spied on them. As they did not find somebody they wanted, he went with the Kategaya. On their way back, they escaped, they came by bus. On their way back, the intelligence had spotted his vehicle, Kategaya's vehicle. Somebody betrayed them and he mentioned his it. Museveni was found in Erigon Mountain at the top by Amini security agents. Museveni had, you look at those who were executed, public executed by Amin in Kabari. There is a man in Busoga. There was a man in Kampala. It tells you that at that time, although he was young, he had built his Forunasa on Westerners, people like Otafira and others, but he was building bridges. Even when he was in power, Museveni was building bridges.
But I think these bridges were his personal things.
There
is no
can
way
you
they
build a
benefit the
bridge?
nation as a whole.
Can you build a bridge and they use it tomorrow? I'm telling you about slogans. Slogan ya Uhuru Kenyatta ne Odinga, apart from mixing milk and salt, could not work, could not market. Handshake. Does the country belong to Uhuru and Odinga?
People are arguing that Odinga is just Uhuru's puppet.
If Uhuru was and Nkubulidde nabana abajoze ensi ne batujoka kati, why do they fear to talk much about the retirement of Nabusai? They know that once they undermine Nabusai, people will remember nemirundi bwe bamukola. I fought to them basomeseza ejjogo ejjogo eryo eribani yesa abantu ku mitwe okutufuula ebitoli byabo tibanyaffe tebatuzaala batuzaala tufuuke ebitoli byabo okutunya ku mitwe. State House fears to tell you the status of Nabusai. And as a result, have you seen since his appointment that Warusimbi, according to newspapers, has he ever been quoted? If you don't shine at your wedding day, when will we shine? They have made sure that Walusimbi is not quoted.
Hey.
Wamulabyeko. Wamulabyeko nga bamukwotira.
Nerinnya bw'olyogira.
Yes.
Siritegeera.
Ati kyenkubuulira. Kati oyo bamwalizoleetinze. Oyo talina kyajja kukola. Kubanga bw'omwogerako nga babuuza Nnabusayi yalazeewo. Kati they have decided ajja kuwandika sole nga tezifuluma. Ne Kirunda yalugendeddemu eyabadde yakajja. Kakati kyenkugamba ekyo nti Ruto manya Gundi Buhuru teyabala yali jeyo Gundi if he wanted yali mize empeke ekawa nadissolvinga nakkiriza ne bakaddamu naleetaani. If it was Odinga who was more powerful, who was causing trouble, it means he was more powerful than Ruto. Why didn't he take a gamble and pair up with Odinga and defeat Ruto? Kyamulema. Abantu be Kenya Ruto waliwo wano Odinga ajoze buli muntu najoga bakadaga nakozesa nankabirwa ye vice we nankabirwa yasigaddewo nankabirwa bwakozesa okujoga abantu ye vice we nankabirwa
mu bujozi
ne Kazimba oyo ne Kayanja be bantu ayinaba bagudde because once we gang up against Kayanja tayina wali Kayanja yagwamu oba omukolo ote Kayanja yagwamu ekitegeeza oyo naye alinga Odinga. Never step on everybody. People gang up against you.
Of course.
Never humiliate somebody. When you humiliate somebody, then he becomes a victim. People support victims. Like when who was humiliated, they are subject to the same humiliation. Ruto. Nagende Mombasa State House nebagigala. Nebabeera ku mukolo nga Raila ayogera nono. Yayogera yamukuba akamu. But Uhuru did not take a fundamental stand. A standing a startling decision to appoint this man vice. If we had appointed this man vice president and defeated Ruto, it would have been easier. Kenyans would have bought Raila and they have dismantled the post of vice president. So even if you bring Karua, people cannot accept it.
But I hear the vice president is also on the ballot.
Anti kyenkubuulira naye ekifo baakyonona kiringa mu Uganda nabaga nti mu Uganda the vice president of Uganda is an exaggerated title. He remains an aide of Museveni. At one time this woman represented the first lady who is a minister at Makerere University. How can a vice president represent a minister? So it tells you. That's why these women kati lwe bazaala bonna bali impregnated bonna bali ki. That's why the Americans, the Republican societies cannot allow women until you find a vice president who is getting married now, who is pregnant. You find a speaker who is married, and the marriage is not clear, whether Christian, whether tradition, whether Islam. Kakati eyo image, Uganda's image, enfa. Kubanga Museveni yaleeta abantu ebifo
n'abikola. Muzeyi bwavu, omuntu wafunye kafolo awasa.
Ye Museveni
bya ku bifaananyi ebirungi.
A successful revolution demystifies arrogant institutions and individuals. Kamuswaga yagobye Buganda coach omupiira bakuzanyidde kyotira mu buddu kati bagiyita coach naye tezanyira katuyina Manchester United ne Manchester City. Kamuswaga yamukobye n'obujozi bwe yagobye Maika n'obujozi bwe kambi katono kagayira mitala Kamuswaga ataddewo amazina Maika n'obujozi bwe ne sente ze nga talinya. Yes.
Eka Kamuswaga lwaki tawaga mu Mayiga kitiibwa.
Kabaka mulala kati obwacha obukama bwe Guno. But finally I've written this book to help Ugandans. Why Ugandans are gullible, guided into a logical debate. Because the people ring me for what and what. I'm helping Ugandans to understand. How do you understand a logical conclusion? A logical debate? People, powerful people in Uganda, they don't know. Museveni atulaga omusika. How can Museveni show you a religious leader in a sermon? Museveni atulaga omusika. How? If I ask the Archbishop of Kampala Samogere, can he tell us the success of the Pope?
No.
As long as they are cardinals, it means the cardinals will choose.
As long as there is a structure.
We don't have a monarchy. A monarchy is where you have a crown prince. Some of the people who wanted to become crown princes have found themselves swept away.
Of course.
Kati mu Uganda tulina abantu basatu to talk about. We have Bobby Wine, we have M.i.S.O, we have Muhozi. The three
M.i.S.O is
possible Museveni success.
A possible topic of the day.
Yes.
I doubt.
M.i.S.O has all the credentials. Because what we are building, when you see people singing in Kenya, the last one, why are they singing? This is the same group. They have the wealth. Ruto has graduated from poverty. This is what our people don't understand. A man like me, who worked for you, very close to you, you want me to become a tester on your underpants? A rich mirundi is a nuclear bomb. Am I going to be a slave for you, permanent, perpetual?
Forever.
Whoever joins a group is a comrade. I would be one of the richest people in Uganda.
Yes.
Because of my country. You know, country kakachiko, kubera ku program ya M.i.S.O kubanga bobe bayinako sente share zaabwe kasamfunyiro bananyinisi abajoze we bali wan ngantema kati nagenze kwani nagenze kuyabaliye mumanyi baliye kuwa naite bayina mu share buli lwemba bulira we bali buli lwempulira abajozi abajozi we bali banziruka serigenda ku M.i.S.O bagina mu shares kalisa yanze ba 10 billion nebegata ne mwenda nebegata ne oyo mutani wa kajijo oyo nomutu okumulinga olukosirwe ngamira nalyo kagamba namulebudde nebatwala 10 billion nditunde edwali nja kwata ku hoteli yemu ndokulu ngadduse nja kutunda hoteli ye amukama abeere namu